Hello out there, Denture family. It's me again. It has been 5 months, over 5 months now, since I had my extractions and temporary dentures placed. And it has been a journey. It has been an experience that I never thought I would have in my entire life. I honestly thought, when I went in for my initial consultation, I thought in the forefront that, they could fix my teeth and maybe replace a few. I think dentures were probably in the back of my mind, but not really at the forefront. But when she said, we'll take them all out and place immediate dentures and started talking that whole route, didn't surprise me. It didn't shock me. It didn't upset me. Like, I know it does a lot of people when you hear that, dentures. But I think I was expecting it, so I'd kind of mentally prepared myself for having to go through that. Of course, as soon as I got home, I started, researching, doing everything I could to research dentures and what to expect and all that, and found Cal and Jax's videos first, and then I found Bill's, and then I found Donna's, and then from there I found Margaret, I found Stephanie, I found so many others that helped me through the process. Now, why was my dental experience so much different from many of yours? Why have I had fewer complications than many others? Why? I honestly don't know, except for a couple of things that really kind of makes me think that I've had a better, maybe a better experience than many others have had. And I think that's because I did so much research, and I researched what to expect on extraction day, and saw the mistakes that people posted that they had made during their journey. Mistakes that that many, Cal and Jax, Donna, Bill, all of those things that they experienced and they went through. And I took all of those notes when I was trying to figure out what to expect and how to prepare myself to not have those issues that some of the others have had. So not to have those dry sockets, not to have the amount of pain when people didn't take their pain medication, and because they weren't hurting at the time or weren't hurting much, and they could just deal with it. So I took all of that into consideration when I prepared myself and got all of the tools that I felt like I needed, all of the trial-sized adhesives, the squirt plastic containers, the squirt cups, glasses, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, those squirt things that helped me with the saltwater rinses and with drinking initially. I carried that thing around with me everywhere for the first 2 weeks. That little plastic thing had a little straw thing, bendy straw thing that squirted. And that's how I kept myself hydrated, and that's how I kept the saltwater rinses going, because I had two. I bought two of them off of Amazon. It came in a 2-pack. And one was for my saltwater and the other one was to drink with. Taking my pain medication around the clock. Setting an alarm. I think that was one of the things Donna suggested on her video, was setting my alarm and taking that pain medication around the clock. Now, I knew too, having been a nurse for many years, that I could alternate the pain medication with either Tylenol or ibuprofen. Well, Tylenol never worked for me for tooth pain. Never. So I always took ibuprofen. So I would, even though gastric bypass. I'm not supposed to, and I'm not saying that you should if you have stomach issues or anything like that. I'm saying for me, nothing worked but ibuprofen. That was the only thing that worked. I don't know if it's because it's an anti-inflammatory and it takes the swelling down along with the relieves the pain. I don't know, but it's the only thing that worked for me. So that was what I took. I took ibuprofen every 4 hours and then alternated with the pain medication for the first 24. Then I held back on the pain medication the second day because, as I saw in experience and as I knew from my nursing experience, whether post-op day, whether it's an appendectomy or whether it's tooth extraction, either or, that day 3 is usually the worst day because that's pretty much when healing kicks up really a notch, and that can be your worst pain day. So I saved I took a few of the pain pills on day 2, but I stretched them out further. Day 2, especially during the day, I would take them every 4 hours instead of every 2, because every 2 hours I would alternate the pain pill and the ibuprofen the first day, the first 24 hours, and then the second day I stretched it out to every 4 hours, and I did okay. Day 3, I didn't have that much pain that day, but I still, to stay on top of it, took those pain pills alternating with the ibuprofen so that I could keep control of the pain, because once you let that pain get out of control, that pain gets so bad, it takes your body so much longer to get that pain back under control because it's so difficult. As for complications, I did everything I could not to get dry socket. I made sure not to suck on straws or anything like that. And I've never been a smoker, so I never had that issue, either with vaping or smoking, that risk for dry socket. So, but I made sure that I didn't suck on any straws, and that I rinsed my mouth out after every meal, every time I ate something, so that wouldn't retain in my mouth and get down in my extraction sites. So I think that was one of the reasons that I didn't have the complications and the issues that many of you guys have had with your experience with your extractions. Now, as it went on with the immediates, I was one of the few lucky ones. Mine were made the first time correctly. Now, many of you have had issues with them not being made correctly, the bite being off. I think I said in one of my previous videos I thought the bite was off, but it's not. It needed a reline was what that issue was, and I got that reline, so that helped that process. Are my dentures perfect right now? No. Ideally, I should probably go back for another soft reline, but I go back in just a couple of weeks to get my impressions, and what I'll have them do at that point is go ahead, since I know it'll be a couple of weeks before I get my permanents after the impressions, maybe even longer, I will have them go ahead and do a soft reline on my temporaries so that I can continue to wear those easily. Right now, I think I've said in the previous videos that when I pull the denture fit out of my lowers, I pull the soft reline out with it. I've got a Walmart reline in there, and right now it needs to be redone. So I will be heading to Walmart probably later today to pick up another reline kit so that I can get that done and get those bottoms. It is right now, it is rubbing a bit of a sore spot on my lower left side inside the gum. There's a little sore spot that's rubbing. Doesn't hurt right now, but by the end of the day it's rubbed and it's a little raw. Still not wearing adhesives on the bottom, and actually if I did that I probably wouldn't be rubbing because they wouldn't be moving as I'm eating. So I probably should put some adhesive on the bottoms today. So I think I will do that later. Right now I'm traveling to a stem cell seminar for a free lunch. But I'm also going to find out information on doing stem cell therapy for knee pain, back pain, neck pain, that kind of stuff. And with my husband's back pain, and the fact that he's going to have injections in his back because the MRI results were not great on his back injury. But I also have bad knees. I have knee pain, quite a bit of knee pain. It is resolving somewhat, but I still have a difficult time walking up steps. And right now, as an update on my life, with his back pain and all of our medical bills, starting with mine, emergency room and hospital stay in January, to the extractions and temporary dentures in April, the IV iron therapy that I've had to have twice, both in February and then again in June. Now with his back injury and the chiropractic bills, and right now all of that is fortunately going on co-credit, but I have to make that monthly payment. But they're stacking up. The hospital bills are coming in, the doctor's bills are coming in, the therapy bills are coming in. I don't have any choice but to go back to work at this point. So right now I'm working on getting my nursing refresher course under my belt so that I can get back into the workforce and help get these bills paid. Right now I will be just looking for something part-time. It just depends, honestly, on what God leads me to. Right now I've got a wonderful, wonderful, blessed mother-in-law who's helping me out with the refresher course to get that paid for so that I can get back to work and get that done. But that's pretty much all that's going on. As I've said before, I go back in just a couple of weeks to get my impressions done for my permanent set of dentures. So I'll get to pick color and shape and hopefully gum color and all that fun stuff for my comfy lights with Aspen. Praying that all goes well and there won't be any issues, because I've seen several times now where permanents have not come out correctly and they have to be redone. So, I'm just praying that everything goes along with that okay. I will be taking my husband with me with my wax try-in, and originally I was just going to take him for the wax try-in, but now that I've seen issues between the wax trying being perfect and then the permanents being completely screwed up, I will be taking him with me when I get my permanents placed in, so that he can help me determine if there's anything wrong with it. Because as I've said, he's got a dog in that fight. Right now it's his paycheck that is going where that monthly payment is coming from for my dentures. So that's all I've got for today, folks. I just want to touch base with you all. I'm still here. I'm going to be working on a new video pretty soon, probably this upcoming week, on not sure what the subject is going to be yet. I'm kind of cruising through some of my denture Facebook groups and seeing what a common problem is with other than the usual, media's not working, bottoms flopping around, that kind of stuff. Do want you guys to tune in on Monday to Margaret's channel on Denture Talk, because the guys from Stabil Dent will be there, and he will be talking about the midline, which is where ideally between your two front teeth should be midline with your nose and your cupid's bow. So he will be talking about that on Monday, and you want to be sure to tune into Margaret's channel on Monday. It will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 Central Time. Be sure you don't want to miss that. I know I will be there. You all have a great day. God bless, and I'll see you next time.